Hello wonderful, I hope you're doing well. My name's Steph and welcome back to Coffee Over Apples, where I talk about books, anime, manga, do speed drawing videos, do art, and all kinds of fun stuff. So for today's video, I was tagged by Jessa over at Gavin with Jessa to do the Nope Trope book tag, and whew, we have some tea to spill.
It could change the world.
This tag was originally created by Zoe over at Zoe's All Booked. I will leave the link to Zoe's channel and to Jessa's channel down below. They're both phenomenal booktubers in their own right. They both do very different things and talk about all different kinds of books. Please go check them out. Thank you, Jessa, for tagging me in this video. I really appreciate it. Let's get right down to the tea. Question number 1 is called Eavesdropping with Miscommunication. Name a book that you heard great things about and expected to love, but ended up hating. I think I'm gonna break some hearts with this one, even though I've said it a couple times on this channel. Children of Blood and Bone. Man, I struggled with this. Even though I'm rereading this for the DNF, even though I'm rereading this for the punishment jar that I got for my September's Blackjack TBR game. I really struggled reading this and ended up DNFing it. Like, all these tabs that are here are just different problems that I had with this book. And I mean, it was the writing style and the characters' choices got me so upset. So, for example, the brother, I don't remember what his name is, but what's the main character's name? Is it Zelly? I think it's Zelly. Zelly's brother was instructed by their father to escort Zelly to the main capital city in order to trade their fish that they caught for money, right? So to go sell the fish. And the father said, "Son, go protect your sister, bring her to the city, make sure that nothing happens to her. It's a very dangerous place, especially for our people." Brother says, okay. They get to the city and he stays outside of the city and says, "I need to stay here and protect our ride." So basically the animals that they rode there on, they couldn't be left alone. So he said, "Sister, go in by yourself and I will stay here and protect the animals." And then literally on the very next page, she gets attacked by herself. Like, dude, your dad gave you one job. You had one job and you didn't do it. That's one of very many problems that I had with this book. Let's see if that changes. Question number 2 is called Love Triangle. Name a series where you can't pick your favorite book. I have a manga answer for this one because I recently read the Neon Genesis Evangelion manga series, and this is one of the most famous animes of all time. Every single volume of this manga, I gave 5 stars. Like, it ended with my brain exploding literally every single time. I had no idea what was going to happen, even though I watched the anime prior to reading the manga. That's how fantastic this was. It was a completely different story. There were a lot of similarities, but the events leading up to the ending are just so different. I think there's one more left that I have to read. I've read 4 of these so far, and every single one was phenomenal. So, cheating a little bit on this with a manga answer. Question number 3 is Not Like Other Girls, or Didn't Know I'm Beautiful. Name a book that has a pretty cover but was boring as hell. This one, I'm gonna go with another book that I've DNF'd in the past, and that was Tell Me Something Good. Now, I love the minimalist aesthetic quality of this cover. It's this beautiful bright crimson red, and on the inside are illustrations. So this is a book of interviews by famous artists from this company called the Brooklyn Rail, and inside it had all of these beautiful pencil illustrations of famous artists for the different interviews. So if I can find another one, that's Ai Weiwei, in case anybody's never heard of him. He's a super famous artist from China. He was imprisoned for speaking out against atrocities that the government was committing, and then he became a famous artist and was spreading awareness around the world for civil rights. So, I really like minimalist design if it's done really well. As a graphic designer, I enjoy it when I can understand the choices behind a cover design. Aesthetically, this color is very shocking and it just brings you right to it because it's so bright. However, a lot of the stories that were inside, I mean, I'm eccentric too. I'm an artist. I do crazy things. A lot of people think I'm weird. But some stuff in here was just a little too much. Like, there was this one artist, I don't remember his name, but he got paid a grant to do some artwork where he went into a museum or a gallery and he made the wooden floors into waves, and then he laid under the floors, and as visitors to the museum were walking through, he would listen to their footsteps and masturbate to their footsteps. Like, what is happening? Why did this guy get a grant? Why can't I get a grant? What? Like, qualms that artists have with the art world. If you're an artist, you understand what I'm talking about. To each his own. I'm not saying that that artist should not be defined as an artist. Anyone who is a creator can be an artist and deem themselves an artist, but just like some of the things that were done were just a little bit frustrating or boring. And other things were amazing. So it was like one extreme or another extreme. Question number 4 is all-consuming love. Name a book that gave you a book hangover. The Monk by Matthew Gregory Lewis might just be my favorite book of 2020. It just blew me out of the water and was one of the few times this year that I've read a book in such a short amount of time. I mean, I picked it up and like put it down a little bit, but at a certain point, I think I might have been like 50 pages in or something, I picked it up and I just breezed through the other pages. It was like 400 pages long and I breezed through it in a day and it was just amazing. It has everything I want. It is a gothic horror. It is set during the Spanish Inquisition. There is torture. It talks about some really messed up things. There's incest, there's ghosts, there's everything horrible, and as a fan of horror, this hit the nail on the head. It was just exquisite, and I think it's only something that horror fans can really understand. Like, this was so much fun, and I want more people to read it so I can have more people to talk to about it. It is one of the most messed up things I have ever read. And don't watch the movies. I mean, you can watch the movies if you want. The movies are really old, but the movies did not do it justice. The movies didn't even include some of the most important parts of the story. It's about the fall from grace and this monk and like temptation and seduction. It's just, whew, it's awesome. It's so good. This is part of the reason why I've been doing so many challenges in 2020. I was challenged to read this for a buddy read, and I would have never picked this up on my own, and I am so glad that I was challenged to read this because it is everything. Like, I'm pretty sure the only other thing I've given 5 stars since reading this book was this manga, but before this I was giving a lot of things 5 stars, and I think I was being too generous. This set the bar really high. Question number 5 is Douchebag Boyfriend. Name a book that took you a while to get into, but that you ended up loving. For this one, I think I might go with Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. This is a classic. It is a thick book. How many pages is this? 930. I mean, considering that I've read quite a few 1,000-page books since I read this a couple years ago, it's not so bad. But this was one of those reads where I would pick it up and be super into the story, put it down and forget about it. And then a couple weeks later, pick it up again, be super into it for 100 pages, put it down and forget about it. Pick it up, be into it, put it down. So it was like when I wasn't reading it, I just didn't care. But then when I picked it up, it was amazing. I need to reread this because I read this so long ago. I'm pretty sure I read it before I even made my Goodreads account. So I probably either read probably read this in the beginning of college, so maybe like 2011 or something like that, when I first started my bachelor's so many years ago. Oh my god, I just realized we're about to be in 2021, which means that it's been almost 10 years since I started my bachelor's. I mean, I already have my bachelor's, I'm graduated, I'm in grad school now. But where is time going? What is happening? Existential crisis averted, back to the book. Yeah, so it took me a really long time to finish this, but when I did finish it, I have really fond memories of enjoying it. So, number 6 is tell us your favorite or least favorite trope. I hate insta love. I hate it. I just can't buy it. I just can't, which is part of why I struggle with romance, the whole insta love thing. Like, everyone's least favorite is probably miscommunication, and it is mine as well. If it's a scenario where everything, this entire story can get cleared up by one person just opening their mouth and saying, hey, here's the fact, or hey, here's what I think, or here's what actually happened, and the whole thing could have been avoided, the whole book is stupid. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. It's stupid. Enemies to lovers, I don't mind, because in order to go from enemies to lovers, you have to have history. You have to have gone through these many experiences that bring you two together and force you to see different sides of each other that you didn't see before. So I'm okay with that more than insta love. Morally gray characters are my favorite characters of all time. I love the turmoil, I love the angst, I love all of it. Also, absent or dead parents, especially in YA, where it's like the parents are gone, the parents don't exist, the parents just are completely absent-minded, and it just leaves the child to go and explore and do all these other things that they wouldn't be able to do if the parent was present or coherent. Especially, and this is the biggest problem that I have with YA, this is why I struggle with YA so much and why I'm so picky when it comes to YA, is because in a lot of it, it's like, here's a group of ragtag teenagers who have all this wits and skill to save the world, but all these adults who trained these teenagers, are not able to figure out what needs to be figured out to save the world. Every adult is stupid, even though they gave the skills to this group of teenagers, and now the teenagers is gonna save all the adults. Drives me up a freaking wall. I can't stand it. Alright, well that's it ranting for me. So I'm going to tag a few people to do this video, so please check out all of their channels. I will leave a link in my description below. I'm going to tag the awesome Nana over at lit_Nana over at booktube. I'm also tagging Kaylin May at the channel Kaylin May on booktube. Nana writes some really cool fanfics and does some really awesome clip composites with them, and her videos are just so fun to watch. Please go check them out. Also, Kaylin May is doing a series on her channel where she talks about reading for revolution. It's very cool reading a lot of nonfiction and talking about contemporary issues. I love it. I'm also tagging Offense over at Offense Moduka. Offense is an African booktuber and is just so sweet, does these great unboxing videos, talks about different African literature, and is just such a sweet person. Please go check her out. And lastly, I'm also tagging TV over at TV Kane. TV does lots of book tags and just has a really great overall personality, and I just really enjoy watching their videos. So please go check out everybody that I mentioned. A link to their channels will be in the description below. If you'd like to follow me, my links for my social are in my description, and I will see you next time. Bye guys!